Welcome in, folks. We are continuing to break down the new free agent signings for the Carolina Panthers, focusing on the newcomers, one video per guy as I record this. Today, we're going to break down none other than Patrick Jones II. Position outside linebacker, former team, the Minnesota Vikings, signed a 2-year, $20 million contract. Impact, where does he fit in? He was more of a rotational piece with the Minnesota Vikings. Where is he going to fit in the scheme with the Carolina Panthers? I think it's a strong possibility he could push for a starting position. Jadeveon Clowney, at least now, still on the team, a little bit older. Same thing with DJ Wonnum. Of course, DJ Wonnum played with him in Minnesota, so you have that reference and crossover, just pulling those guys down here. I'll take it. What I wonder is, are we going to maybe see Clowney in more of a rotation or a breather? TBD. No idea what this is going to pan out. The purpose of what the Panthers are doing now is adding depth at every key position. I know we didn't get a Josh Sweat. We didn't get a Milton Williams. Those type of playmakers. You're adding quality depth in a lot of positions. Maybe not A++, but you're putting in some guys that you hope can develop and perform well. I mean, that's our expectation, just mediocre defense that can stop the run, and this is a good starting point. Let's dive into some more data here. Height and weight, 6'4", 264 pounds, out of Grassfield High School in Chesapeake, Virginia. Had 83 tackles, 12.5 sacks, 8.5, tackles for loss, 8.5 sacks. Senior, named All Tidewater Conference, and then I don't know why I cut that off there, but it doesn't matter. University of Pitt Panthers, redshirted in 16 and 18. Redshirt freshman, not a lot of production. As a sophomore, 23 tackles, 7.5 for loss, 4 sacks, and a forced fumble. Jumped up to 2020, his junior year, 44 tackles, 13 for loss, 9 sacks, 1 fumble recovery. Consensus All-American, first team All-ACC, ACC Defensive Lineman of the Week twice. Career total, 100 total tackles, 33.5 sacks, 20 tackles for loss. I keep twisting those up. Apologize. 22 sacks. Drafted by the Minnesota Vikings, 3rd round, 90th overall. Let's take a look at his numbers here. 4 seasons in Minnesota. You can see the production from 21 to 24, where that led. Total tackles this past season, best of his career, 39 total. 19 solo, 20 assists, and 7 sacks with 1 forced fumble. 2022 was a really decent season, 4 sacks as well. And then in 23, he had the 1. So again, Carolina Panthers focused on getting younger, putting money towards the defense, and building a solid foundation. When you look at a lot of the signings, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, adding security for this team in a place that's needed it. And again, may not jump off the page as this player that's going to come in MVP caliber type, but you're setting yourself up in well enough to go into the draft and make a decision like, hey, maybe we should draft on the defensive front. Maybe we should draft offense, whatever it is. You're putting yourself in position to be able to play day one. Expect the Panthers to continue to be competitive down the stretch. Curious, though, even with this signing, I still think there's a need at edge, outside linebacker. Whether we sign someone else, whether we go through the draft, I think we're still going to have to consider all options. And this is not going to do it for the Panthers. Anyways, folks, that's going to do it for today's episode. This is Carolina Dad. Y'all have a good one.